Good evening, Dr. T. Ryan Kramberg here with the ethics assignment that you assigned out. I typed in refugees in the United States for my search function and for my persuasive theme, and I saw some articles were ethical, some articles were very unethical. Some were very factual, some were more opinion based that did not come across it in an ethical manner. Some of the stories I saw used facts and figures to present their arguments, and they were very respective of viewpoints, were very ethically written. One story I saw in the Council from Foreign Relations just defined a refugee by the common definitions given, how the United States has handled it over its history, policy changes made, and the steps a refugee has to do in order to come to the United States. A very ethically sourced story that stuck to the facts. Another one from the American Immigration Council was very similar in that it just showcased nuts and bolts and the facts. They did not do anything unethically and were very straightforward in their story. So the Mickelson article about bias. He talks about how speakers must be cognizant of how the material is presented, and if it's presented in an ethical manner, a positive outcome can come out of that. Those first couple stories I noted were very much in that manner. Some other stories, though, were definitely unethical in how they presented it. I did not particularly like the reasoning and approaches to them. One story came from the New York Times about the recent policy change that the Trump administration made about limiting refugees. Right off the bat, it was unethical from the start in that it used information source written from a very pro-refugee standpoint and why we should allow more into them. It was very tugged. You could notice that it was very much written towards a pro-refugee policy, and really only glossed over the statements made by the administration. It was not particularly fair towards the Trump administration, and was very much unethical in that it used all the wrong ways to go about a story. Unfortunately, there's a similar story about the issue in the Washington Times that was about as equally unethical the other way, and that it was very much in favor of how the administration's policy would benefit people, and was not very particularly kind to what refugees bring to the United States. Both those stories could be remedied by just presenting the nuts and bolts facts without getting emotional either way. You can present what the policy change is about, and then present why it is a good thing or why it isn't a good thing, without being so unethically biased one way or the other. So, all right. I hope this works for you. Thank you. Have a good night.